Welcome to this explainer. Think about the place you live right now. You know, the bustling streets, the fully stocked grocery stores, all those lit up windows at night. Now, imagine if all of it just suddenly stopped, like froze in place. We're used to towns fading away slowly over centuries, right? But some empty out almost overnight. Today, we're diving into the eerie reality of 7 real ghost towns where entire populations just vanished, literally leaving absolutely everything behind.
So what makes an entire city just vanish overnight? It's a mystery that honestly feels like it belongs straight out of a science fiction movie, but it happens right here in the real world. We're going to count down 7 documented ghost towns today. And we're not talking about ancient, crumbling ruins here. These are places that had thriving communities, booming economies, families going about their daily lives, until suddenly, they just didn't.
Now, to really understand these vanished cities, we need to talk about a specific concept: arrested decay. We're not just looking at empty, overgrown plots of land. Arrested decay is this incredible state where location is frozen exactly as it was the moment it was left behind. It's literally a preserved moment in time, the exact second a community realized, hey, we are never coming back here.
Let's kick things off with number 7, Pripyat, Ukraine.
50,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many people lived there. That really puts the sheer scale of this displacement into perspective, doesn't it? Pripyat wasn't some tiny, middle-of-nowhere rural outpost. It was a major, bustling city. It was home to families and workers, right up until the catastrophic Chernobyl disaster struck in 1986. Literally overnight, the economic and social infrastructure of an entire massive city was rendered instantly obsolete. Imagine being a resident there. You're given one very specific instruction: pack for 3 days. That's it. So people took only the bare essentials, fully expecting to return. But they never came back. Because of that incredibly sudden, panicked departure, you have entire apartment blocks, schools, even a massive amusement park, just sitting there frozen in time. It's a massive, haunting monument to arrested decay. Moving on to number 6, Bodie, California, a town born entirely from the wild, chaotic frenzy of the gold rush. Back during its absolute peak, Bodie was booming. We're talking 10,000 people drawn there by the promise of immense wealth just hidden right there in the earth. But as we know, resource-dependent economies, they are incredibly fragile. Once the gold ran out, the panic to find the next big opportunity was so intense that people literally dropped exactly what they were doing. If you visit today, you'll see dishes still sitting abandoned on dining tables and general stores with fully stocked shelves, just waiting for customers who are never going to walk through the door. Which brings us to number 5, Kolmanskop, Namibia. This was a desert town brought to life in the early 1900s by a massive diamond boom. Immense wealth, built directly on top of harsh, unforgiving sands. These 2 resource towns actually tell us 2 very different stories of decay. Think about it. Bodie suffered a gold bust, which left everyday domestic life eerily preserved in that dry mountain air. Kolmanskop, on the other hand, faced a diamond bust and was completely abandoned within decades. But here, the immense, unstoppable power of the Namib Desert has taken over. We're talking massive sand dunes, literally flowing right through the doorways of once wealthy homes. It really shows you just how rapidly nature can erase human enterprise.
Number 4, Craco, Italy, a stunning medieval hilltown town with centuries and centuries of history.
And right on its heels, number 3, Centralia, Pennsylvania, a town entirely doomed from beneath its own streets. So what exactly drove people out of these 2 radically different places? Well, for Craco, it was the earth itself. Relentless landslides made that beautiful medieval hilltop just way too dangerous to inhabit. Now, these centuries-old buildings stand entirely empty, literally perched right on the edge of collapse. For Centralia, though, the trigger was man-made. A catastrophic coal seam fire ignited underground back in 1962, and guess what? It never went out. Toxic gases and massive, terrifying sinkholes forced the population to flee. That underground fire, it's actually expected to burn for over 100 more years. Absolutely wild.
Number 2, Oradour-sur-Glane, France. Now, we need to slow down a bit here because the history of this town is profoundly somber, and it demands our absolute respect.
Unlike the towns we've talked about that were abandoned due to economic busts or natural disasters, Oradour-sur-Glane was left deliberately untouched following a truly horrific wartime massacre. Everything there, the ruined buildings, the rusted-out cars, the personal belongings left behind in the streets, they remain exactly where they were left on that terrible day. It's arrested decay, maintained purely by choice, a haunting, permanent memorial designed so that we never, ever forget the staggering costs of war.
And finally, we arrive at the climax of our explainer. Number 1, Hashima Island, Japan. Get this, Hashima Island was actually once one of the most densely populated places on the entire planet. It was packed end to end with coal miners who lived in these incredibly tight, towering concrete complexes. It was this absolute marvel of industrial efficiency. But the moment the coal industry collapsed, this massively crowded, bustling island was completely abandoned. And we're not talking a slow drain over decades here. Everyone was gone within months.
There's a quote that perfectly captures the sheer bleakness of Hashima Island today. It goes, "Crumbling concrete towers stand empty, surrounded by nothing but ocean." That really paints a picture, doesn't it? A place that once buzzed with thousands and thousands of people is now just this silent, decaying fortress of concrete sitting right in the middle of the sea.
So what connects a medieval Italian village, a Californian gold town, and a Japanese coal island? Well, in all of these places, some massive force pushed the people to leave everything behind all at once. There was no time to pack, no time to look back. What remains in these incredible zones of arrested decay tells a really profound sociological story about impermanence. It shows us, kind of terrifyingly, just how quickly human civilization can vanish the second the resources dry up or the earth gives way.
Look around at your own city today. Your streets, your neighborhood, your home. What would your city leave behind if it just vanished overnight? What story would your arrested decay tell to someone a century from now? It's a crazy thought, right? But the truth doesn't hide forever. The stories are always out there, just waiting to be read in the ruins. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and stay curious out there.